to Your Wealthy Self with me, Regina Martinelli. This show is about money and a whole lot more. Here we focus on you being able to expand your capacity for money, success, abundance, and inner wealth. For you to have what's important to you both inside and out, so you too can be your wealthy self. It's really about honoring your wholeness, that you are enough just as you are to have what's most important to you. Today, we're going to talk about money and when money becomes your parent. What? What does that mean? And stay until the end when I give you a way to sort out when this is happening. What do I mean by when money becomes your parent? And why is it an important thing to distinguish when it's happening? Here's what I mean. It's common to grow up having a strained relationship with your parents or to not have gotten what you needed. Now, this could be one parent, both parent, and I use the word parent just for simplicity. Could have been a grandparent, caregiver. But you might have had a childhood where you did not get the love or the sense of feeling safe, or that you might not have been able to feel free to be yourself that you needed as a child. So, little quick background. When we can't get the safety, love, and attachment that we need as children with those whom we are dependent and extremely dependent on for our survival, it can set off our nervous system. And our reptilian brain can go into fight, flight, or freeze. And if our needs are not met for extended periods of time, like during our childhood, these could be physical needs, emotional needs, and we actually survive this, even though we didn't get what we really needed to the full extent that we would have appreciated, which I'm assuming you did since you're here watching this, since you did survive. And we survive all of that. Then this is what happens. There's a part of our brain that tracks our not getting safety, love, or attention as something that we can survive. When we actually survive that hardship, and our brain can kind of, we survived that. And it happens again. We survived that. We survived that. At some point, our young brain decides, the thing that we survived is the thing that we now need to prove that we are surviving. I go into way more detail about this in my episode called Battle of the Brains in more detail, but it's basically what you need to know for this episode is the thing that you survive in childhood, that experience of that high anxiety, not feeling safe or feeling alone or sad, starts to become the thing that your brain needs to know that it survived, this one particular part. So that reptilian part of your brain starts to find ways to repeat these stressful experiences of your childhood as a way to prove to itself that you're still alive. This is crazy, right? Well, the good news is this is just one part of your brain and it's revisable. So let's chat about how this affects the money you have in your life. Also, this means that it's not your fault. It's how this part of your brain is designed. I want to put this in there because whatever unwanted or unuseful dynamic you have with money, they're not your fault. They're most likely patterns from your childhood, from your younger self that was trying to feel safe, protected, loved, and seen. Again, this is not your fault, so have some compassion for yourself. We could all use a bit more compassion any day. And remember, this is not your fault. It's just how the brain works. And we'll come back to this in a bit. So let's dig in when money becomes your parent. It's important to notice when our dynamics with our parents play out with our money because it helps us to untangle our childhood wounds from the energy of money so we can have a better experience of money. The energy of money at its purest is the energy of blessings and benevolence. Money is one way the universe wants to bless us. Now, any other experience you have with money, from scarcity, it could be fear, overwhelm, dread, disgust, shame, struggle, that there's not enough. You may feel it, the instability of money, or it's hard to get and keep. Any of these other experiences you may have, these are not money. Yeah, that's right. This is not money. This is not the energy of money. Again, the pure energy of money is blessings and benevolence. It's one way the universe wants to bless us. But money gets blamed for all these experiences, all these unwanted experiences. but it's not money that causes these experiences. These experiences are someone else's experiences being placed or projected onto money, specifically being projected on your money. On your money. So how your relationship to money shows up, whether it be an easy one, a difficult one of struggle, or one of shame, guilt for wanting more but not feeling worthy of money, whatever your relationship to money is, most likely it's someone else's stuff that's been put on your relationship with money. Would you ever want someone else's limiting beliefs about money to distort your experience of money being one of blessings and benevolence? Of course not. It's like asking someone else to season or dress your salad. Some people like pepper, others sweetness. Some put in raisins or goat cheese, and some drown their salad with dressings. And when you don't get to say what you want, then it's a chore to eat it. It's just not a pleasant experience. This is the same when someone else gets their limiting beliefs all over money, all over your money. It changes the joy, ease, and creativity that you have with it. When you notice where you have struggles or stress, overwhelm, etc. around money, it gives you the first clue that there is something blocking you from having your own experience of money, an experience that you'd love to have. Who wouldn't want an experience of blessings and benevolence, where money is an ally, a co-creator, and a partner in your life, and how you want to build it and what you want to experience. Where money opportunities and abundance show up for you in delightfully surprising ways, where there's no struggle, and where you don't need to deserve it or work hard for it or prove your worth. It's just a blessing, and it's this beautiful, loving energy. Who wouldn't want that, right? And it's much easier to get than you realize, and you may think. Many times the frustration, the anxiety, anxiety is really a lot of not feeling safe and having to track for safety or track for where the danger is coming from, or the confusion and the struggle and disappointments that we had with our parents gets layered on top of our dynamic with money. For example, if you felt emotionally, physically, or mentally abandoned by your parents, then you might replay this dynamic with money, where money's not consistently coming into your life. You don't have a stable experience of money, where it's always fleeting or running out. And FYI, if it's not money that you feel abandoned by, it might be your health or your relationships that you work hard for, sacrifice for, yet don't feel connection, love, or safety with. Today, we're going to look at this dynamic through the lens of money. Just know it can also show up in relationships and your health in the same way. So let's look at some of the possible ways that this dynamic of money becoming your parent can start to show up. So here are some of the situations. When you were a child, you might have experienced that there wasn't enough money for your family, creating lots of fear and scarcity and stress in your home. Parents, maybe even parents, were consistently working, and work was more important. It can also be due to scarcity mindset, because when you believe there isn't enough, then there never, ever is enough, no matter how much you have. So you and your parents may have been constantly working, trying to provide and feel a sense of abundance or safety through money. But if they have a scarcity belief, they would just keep spinning their wheels. There's also the experience people have, a roller coaster of money, where it comes and goes. It's like needing to move and change lifestyles or schools. There's no stability. This could have happened in your childhood. Like you're moving a lot. There wasn't a lot of stability, which causes anxiety or stress. Or maybe your family had lots of money. You didn't feel seen, loved, or connected to your parents. You felt like you didn't fit into your family, that you were an outsider. Or maybe your parents were really focused on money, so you reject it as a way of dealing with the perceived rejection of you. Like they really wanted money, so then you reject it because you feel like they've already rejected you by choosing to place more value on money than you as a child. Their lack of time, attention, and love feels so painful that you reject what they valued over you. These situations, if they happen long enough, can create limiting beliefs for a child. This is where these limiting beliefs are supported by that part of your brain that needs to repeat what you survived that I mentioned earlier. This is where that reptilian brain finds ways of repeating the fear, the shame, the struggles that you had as a child. And it's not your fault. It's just how the brain is designed. It's a feature, not a fault. but examples of beliefs that came from these situations. And remember, this is a child's thinking. It's not an adult's reasoning. We're talking about beliefs that children make up who don't have the capacities to understand what's going on in the world around them, like you do as an adult now. You have way more capacities and abilities to understand what was happening back then. But as a little one, you didn't. Because by the time you're 6, all of your beliefs about how much you deserve, how worthy you are, how valued you are in the world are put into place, if not by age 3, and how much you deserve. It's all in place by age 6. So again, this is a child's reasoning. So they may believe things like money will save my family or save me. And they may think like when there's enough money, my parents will be happy enough to love, see, and be with me. And this feeds the belief that money is what keeps you stuck or lets you move in the world. And that money is your freedom. It supports all of those beliefs. But this is not true. And I go into more detail into all these beliefs in my episode called Money Beliefs, if you want more details. Money, another belief that children may have is that money is more important than me. So if I have money, then I too can be seen, loved, and feel belonging in my family. So we'll have someone strive for money, or make it become incredibly important to their worth or their identity. A child may think, when I become really successful, I will finally be worthy of their attention and pride. They cannot unsee me when I'm uber successful. Children will also think you have to deserve money. So by working harder, I will finally be good enough, worthy, deserving to have it and have the love and attention I didn't get from my parents. I will feel worthy amongst my peers, my siblings, family, and community. If I can make the money to help my parents, then it will show my worth, lovability, and deserving. I'll be the good child. They will brag about me to their friends. These last 3 are very debilitating when you fail to be successful enough to heal this childhood wound. Because we know success and money doesn't heal these types of wounds. It enslaves you to keep working harder, to have more money, to be more deserving. It's a never-ending battle that results in unnecessary stress. Money isn't what's wrong with our society. What I meant to say is another belief that children have is that, or that people grow into from these experiences as children, is that money is what's wrong with our society. It tears families apart. Like a child may have experienced that their dad never made enough, so their parents got divorced, and then he was never the same again. So this blames money for their family's problems. And this person most likely will resent money, people with money, and the need for money. This creates a repelling energy towards money that rejects it, similar to how this person's father was rejected. So you can see how their experience, a child's experience with money, is the exact same experience that they had as a child with their parent. Money is more important, you have to deserve it. Money will save us. And when the child fails at getting enough money, or the money they did get didn't change anything, then they feel abandoned all over again. They feel unworthy, stuck and unseen, trapped, and worthless. So money becomes the substitute for the parent in this situation. Much of what a child experiences from their childhood wounds, they now replay with their experience of money. The disappointment, the lack of safety, the lack of trust, the instability, disconnection, and rejection is all familiar. This is reinforced by the reptilian brain that knows you can survive this. You can survive being in debt because you've survived this long because you made it out of childhood. So it starts to look for ways to repeat these same experiences. And it's doing it with money. If you had a lack of attention or support and love, you may find your relationship with money is one of debt, and your critter brain knows you can survive debt because you are still alive. So it will keep repeating debt to keep having that stress, that anxiety, that feeling alone and having to work hard to be seen or to produce something in the world. Many times a child will think, since my parent is so focused on money, the only way to get and keep a connection to my parent is through money. Either having so much or being so successful uh, that the child, so what I'm trying to say is either this person having so finally see how valuable they are. So they too will chase money in this unhealthy way. Or a child will try to keep a connection to their parent by always needing money from them, as a way to stay connected to them, even when this child has grown up to be an adult. By always needing their parents' help, they have some sense, however small and distorted, of connection to their parent. Sometimes it's the only relationship they have with their parent. So subconsciously, they continue to take what little interaction, attention, and support they get through money from their parent. Now, this isn't to be viewed as wrong, shameful, or bad. That's not why I'm saying this. Or if you've had any of these experiences with money in your family, and then also your family. It's a chance to see where the childhood belief patterns are still running subconsciously. And if that adult child wants, they can change this dynamic. They can change this dynamic with money. When money is used as a way to connect to a parent or stay connected to a parent, it's probably because it's the only language that parent really speaks or pays attention to or understands. So the child will subconsciously find ways to keep that dialogue going, even as fully functioning adults. I've seen it where as adults, the child will outsource their need for connection through money with their spouses by finding people to partner with that keep these belief dynamics alive, that keep them needing to ask for money from their parents as a way to stay connected to their parent. Now, this gets a bit more interesting, if you're not interested already, when money doesn't show up as we want it to after having collapsed it onto our relationships with our parents. Oh boy. For example, when there's not enough, you can feel abandoned by money, especially when you've put in so much effort, work, and sacrifice, doing all the right things, being the good person. This is probably not dissimilar to how you felt growing up with your parents' lack of attention, safety, and love. Or you'll feel like you have to earn it all yourself. It's hard to receive the generosity of others. Like you can't take or ask for help in this way because you don't trust it will really be there for you. This creates a dynamic of having to do it all yourself, which is exhausting on so many levels. And we can throw tantrums at money, feel abandoned, unsupported, uncared for, unprotected, and in chaos around money, which parallels our relationship to our parents during childhood. We expect money to be our safety. We expect money to be there for us. We expect money to show us our worth, nurture us, and make us feel like we belong. So we work really hard for our money with so many expectations. We are outsourcing our childhood needs onto money. This is not what money is or what money does. When these expectations can't get fulfilled, and they never do because that is not where the real pain is, then it's like our parents not showing up for our soccer game, or not remembering to pick us up from school, or calling us stupid, or not having food to eat, or abusing us, or not being emotionally available. So we get angry at money, we resent it, we hate it, that we need it, just like a child needs a parent for survival. So we reject it the same way we feel rejected by our parent. Can you see how entangled our childhood experiences can get with money? Especially when we start to outsource our wounds onto it, and when we want unconsciously for money to heal our hurt and give us what we didn't get. Again, this is not conscious. This is all subconscious patterning and reactions. Yet you can see the dynamics at play. And this is where we go to revise it. FYI, if it's not money that you feel abandoned by, or it might be your relationships that you outsource your childhood pain to, or your health. Something to consider as you are noticing clues about where money has become your parent. Money usually follows your father's relationship. Mother tends to be our inner relationship to ourselves, and father tends to be our outer relationship to the world. And money is part of that. Money is one way that we engage with the world. And this isn't 100% of the time, and your relationship with money can have both dynamics of your relationship to your mother and your father. It's just something to notice. Okay, so let's do an exercise to see where money might be entangled with your parents. So get a piece of paper and pen for this next piece. It's better that you physically write this down instead of typing it on a computer. There's something about allowing the information to travel from your brain down your arm to your hand that opens up what can come through. So if you can't get to a pen or piece of paper right now, replay this when you can so that you can get the goods from this piece. It's going to provide so many clues, as to where your relationship to money came from, whose perceptions of money are blocking money's true energy of blessings and benevolence. And finding this out helps you to start to move other people's limiting beliefs, experiences, and concerns off of money so you can have your own relationship to money. So yours can be one that is more joyous, useful, supportive, and fun. Dress your own salad the way that works for you. Remember, it doesn't have to be a struggle with money. It is just a belief, and those beliefs can be revised. Okay, you ready? So write down the first thing that comes to you. Don't think about it when I ask these questions. They're kind of like fill in the blank. And these questions have been around since the 70s. Nobody knows who originally put them together, because I do like to give credit. But I did get them from one of my mentors, Michelle Masters, and she got them from someone else. So here we go. Ready for the questions? First one. People with money are... fill in the blank. Money makes people... fill in the blank. Next one. And I'm going to go kind of fast. So again, you may have to come back and rewatch just for time's sake. I'd have more money if... my father thought money was... my mother thought money was... money causes... Next one. Being successful in my family means... Next one. I'd be more successful if... Next one. When I see other people being successful, I usually... Next one. I'm scared that if I had money, I'd... Next question. My father could never... Next question. My mother could never... Next question. I deserve... Don't think about this too much. Next question. I don't deserve... Next question. People deserve to have money if... Next one. Success always... fill in the blank. Next question. If I did better than my father financially, then... fill in the blank. If I did better than my mother financially, then... fill in the blank. Last two. Being broke tells me... Last one. Money equals... Money equals what? Okay, what did you notice about your beliefs around money? Anything surprise you? Where were your beliefs the same as your parents? Where were they different? Was there any beliefs that they had or patterns of beliefs that you saw between your beliefs and their beliefs that was interesting? How do you feel about having the same beliefs as them or different beliefs about money as your parents? Are there any beliefs useful to you about money that you want to keep? And are there any beliefs about money that you'd like to revise that may not be as useful to you? And what beliefs would you like to have instead? What would you change those beliefs into to be ones you preferred? Now, again, if I went too fast, please go back and replay this part because it's really valuable to see where your beliefs come from and if they're useful to you and what you'd like to change. This all helps you shift any blocks that are in the way of you having the experience of money that you want. So thank you for tuning in this week. Feel free to rewatch this with a friend. It's always fun to do these exercises together. Money is one of those things that can be a source of upset or a source of benevolence and blessings, depending on your relation to it. And anything that you do that makes you more happy in your life and brings you more joy, the better. So I hope you find time today to do something that makes you feel happy, even just a little bit. I love and adore you. You are an incredibly beautiful and precious being. And please know you are enough just the way you are. Let's see. If you have any comments or questions, you can send them here to yourwealthyself at E360tvlive.com. Make sure you tune in next week as we continue to use money as a lens to revise the old beliefs holding you back from having more abundance, clarity, freedom, prosperity, self-worth, appreciation, and daily joy, and whatever is most important to you.